There seems to be a myth wrapped around astigmatism and the ability to have LASIK vision correction. Patients tell me all the time they've been told they couldn't have LASIK because they have astigmatism. I'm here to put that myth to rest. If you have astigmatism, with our technology at Harvard Eye Associates, it's no problem at all to correct your vision. Great vision is a gift we want to make available to everyone.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision, today.
And Dr. John Hovannisian is here with us today, Harvard Eye Associates, here in person, because yesterday we showed the segment that we did over at your offices over there and got to meet a lot of people, and that was a lot of fun. It was good to
thanks for coming by. It was nice to have you there.
And in the future we'll get some of those folks on as well. Not that we don't like you here, but they express
with some smart doctors. And you should see them too, for sure.
You definitely do over there. So we're going to talk about cataracts today. And along with that, as you talk about quite often, the technologies and eye care and just the way that these techniques are used for cataracts and glaucoma and all this kind of stuff advances really at a quite rapid rate, doesn't it, at times?
It's incredible. And here in Orange County, we are in the Silicon Valley of eye care.
Yeah.
So more drug companies, more device companies that make these types of devices are here in Orange County than any place else. And we have the fortunate position of being one of the largest practices here in Orange County. And so these companies seek our help with both developing and proving the concept that these technologies work. And we've learned a lot of lessons, and one that actually has been a myth that I hear frequently from folks here in Laguna Woods is the idea that when you go through cataract surgery, it may worsen macular degeneration, or it may cause macular degeneration to happen. And that is not, it does not happen. There have been some studies that have looked, in fact, there have been a lot of studies because macular degeneration is so common to look at this issue. And in fact, an equal number of studies have come sort of on both sides of the subject. And with any type of research study, what you find depends upon chance, and it depends on which patients you include in the study.
Right.
And what we found is if you look at larger numbers of people, in balance, cataract surgery has no meaningful effect on macular degeneration. Any sort of nuanced changes that are different from that just are individual things that occur by chance, we think, mostly. So,
all right.
But the technology of correcting vision when we're doing cataract surgery is where all the excitement is, because just in my 20 years of practicing, we've seen revolutionary change with new implants and new devices. Now, just to sort of set the stage for this, cataract is a problem where the internal lens inside the eyeball becomes gradually more cloudy as we have more birthdays. And for different people, it happens at different rates. Some people never get a bad enough cataract to need surgery. But nowadays, most of us are living long enough, and we are having cataract surgery a little earlier because of improving technology, that most of us end up going through this procedure at some point. So for more than 50 years, we've been putting lens implants in the eye, because you take a lens out, you got to put a lens in to focus the eye. And that's a technology that was first invented in 1950 in England, and it's a simple concept, and most of the implants that we use look like what's on the screen now. A simple, small, this is the whole overall diameter of this, including the two blue arms you see at the top and the bottom, is about the size of a little less than the size of a dime. And so in the center is just about a 5 or 6 millimeter optic, which is what does the focusing for the eye. And because it goes inside the pupil, that's all you need. It's a tiny little device. And about 25 years ago, we invented versions of these lenses that are soft, and they fold up, and they can go through a tiny opening less than 1/8 of an inch in size. So there's been some exciting development.
With these lenses, and we have another one on the other side here.
Yeah.
How long can they stay in that? After 10 years, do they have to be replaced, or whatever it might be?
Yeah, it's a great question that we get all the time. They don't need to be replaced. These lenses, if I get a lens implant, it's going to outlast both me and you.
Oh, that's good.
It's something
Yeah.
that we're going to have for the rest of our lives. They never develop cataract again.
Okay.
And there are different designs. You see on the screen two very different looking lenses. They share in common a center part that focuses, but on the right is, you've heard of the crystal lens, and
Yes.
this is what it looks like. It's different because it's meant to be a moving lens inside the eye. The lens of our eye is attached to some muscles in the ciliary body that help us focus. And those muscles work at any age of our life. The reason that we lose our reading vision, we lose our focusing ability as we get older, has to do with aging of the lens. But when that's replaced, we put in a new flexible lens, like I just showed you, and you can have some of that ability back to focus. And that's a radical change that came over 10 years ago when that lens was first made available by the FDA. And that was really the first step into the brand new world of new technology lens implants for us.
So is this the crystal lens or others like it? That's a type or
That's
a brand?
Yeah, that's a brand name.
Is what's used, or that type of lens, exclusively today, or are there other kinds as well? Just
there are
depends on
many,
the
and
person?
so it depends on the person's vision. So if you have the first thing that we do before surgery is measurements of the eye, and we also ask important questions like, do you do a lot of driving after dark? Do you like to do any hobbies where you're doing real fine work very up close? And where is it important for you to see without glasses if you'd like to do that? And so we understand the individual, and we also, of course, understand the measurements of the eye. And then we pair that up with the technologies that are available to make the best choice. Because really, in the end, it's a person who has to use this. It's not, it's not the measurements that matter so much as what you want when you're going through surgery. So crystal lens is an example I give because visually, to look at it, it's a radically different technology. Some of the lenses that give radically different results don't look very different from the traditional implant, but they work very differently just because of the optics built in. Because, for example, if you've got astigmatism in the eye, we can use a lens that just beautifully corrects that. Or if you want to have a bifocal effect, we can correct that.
So you can do a bifocal effect?
You can do a bifocal effect. We have what they call multifocal lenses. You don't have to tilt your head to see up close and drop your chin to see it far away. It's built into the lens, and so both far and near are achieved at the same time without any movement of the head. It is almost miraculous technology. And then we're working on other radically different designs. Here's a picture of a lens that I'm hoping will be FDA approved. It's called the Synchrony lens. This actually has two lenses built into one body, and it's designed to give even more focusing so that you can see far, far away and way, way up close. And you can see it looks radically different from the lenses I showed you already. And we've put in about 25 of these at Harvard Eye Associates through the FDA studies with wonderful results. But whether we'll be able to use it in the broad population of patients will depend upon whether the FDA ever approves it. And so we're excited about it. And we have these things sort of waiting in the wings when we're approved and can use them. We offer them through FDA studies when we can, and we're ready for yet other technologies.
Are these other types here, are they used in other areas, other countries right now, or is it new here and so it's getting started here, so that's why there's all these studies?
Yeah, it's very interesting. We describe outside the U.S. as being the free world in medicine because, in fact, that's kind of true. The FDA, while it has an important function to serve, which is to protect the public from technologies that are ineffective or unsafe, has really probably become too cautious in its approach. For example, we have treatments for some diseases that in Europe are not only approved by their equivalent of the FDA, but if you don't use these treatments in Europe, it's considered malpractice for certain diseases. But here in the US, we can't use them at all because the FDA simply hasn't approved them. And that's after 20 years experience.
Right.
So, by now we'd know if there were safety issues. By now we'd know if the treatments work or not. That's one example. With lens implants also, most of the technologies you see, and here are some others on the screen as well, that are each one has its own sort of mechanism of action. Each one has its own strength. Some are not approved in any countries because they're simply too new. Some are approved. In fact, of the 5 I'm showing you here, 3 of them have been used in other countries because they're approved, and the others are in some stage of trial here in the U.S. And some technologies may be worth approving, some may not. but with time we're going to learn which of these technologies are most worthwhile and which fit best for our patients.
Yeah.
What's most exciting is that the science of vision care is exploding because there's such a large aging population. There's such a need for advanced technology and a desire to see well as we get older, that has driven an industry to create technologies that are going to help us see better. Once we have those implants, forever.
Yeah.
As long as we live.
And that's, that's exciting because we're, as you said, a lot of us are going to end up needing something like this. And we want to avoid having to go to another country to get them. And
Right.
And we understand the caution, but as you said, sometimes overcautious.
That's right. Yeah, I think we can be too critical of our government, but we need to be critical at the appropriate times. And this is one where, in fact, the FDA understands that both physicians, industry, and the public have come forward saying, look, enough is enough. We need to have a more reasonable, streamlined approach toward approval of different devices and products. And so that is happening. The FDA has at least given lip service to, and I think more than lip service to, the idea that they're going to streamline their FDA approval process in the future.
All right, very good. Well, if someone believes they have glaucoma, you've told us many times that after a certain age you should be having an eye exam once a year, am I right?
Yeah.
And at that point in time, you and your staff can right there see, okay, you might be in the early stages of a glaucoma or something else. And that's the time to start monitoring that and figuring out the direction to go.
After age 50, it is a good idea to have
Yeah.
an eye exam once a year. And it's not just for vision, even if you have good vision. The problem is after age 50, this is when we run into the risk of problems like glaucoma
Right.
or macular degeneration and a host of other diseases that can blind you but not give you much warning with visual symptoms. And so eye doctors have to look. The good news is that here in Laguna Hills, we've got a lot of wonderful eye doctors. Yes, we've got terrific people at Harvard Eye Associates, and there are other very good doctors in the community too who are experienced and who can provide those exams, and early detection and therefore early treatment is what it's all about.
All right, very good. Good to see you again.
It's great to see you too.
And we'll see you again in probably about a month or so.
Thanks. It's
All
always
right.
a pleasure.
We'll be back.
Technology in eye care is constantly evolving. At Harvard Eye Associates, we utilize the most advanced technology available anywhere. From custom LASIK to our wide range of lifestyle lenses for cataract surgery, we offer our patients the latest innovations in ophthalmology.
Harvard Eye Associates. The future of vision today.